A Republican state lawmaker in Texas, let me start that again. A Republican state lawmaker in Texas is proposing legislation to solve a problem that literally does not exist. He thinks that some food that we consume contains remains of aborted fetuses, and wants the FDA to properly label those food items, which again do not exist. So you know what? Sure, let's have the FDA label food items that have fetal remains in them, because the FDA will literally have to do nothing, because this is not a thing. Now, ahead of the opening of the Texas state legislature last week, Republican State Senator Bob Hall introduced a bill to mandate that food containing human fetal tissue be clearly and conspicuously labeled. If passed, this bill would also apply to food that is manufactured using human fetal tissue or derived from research using human fetal tissue. Now, medical and cosmetic products that have links to fetal tissue would also be subject to these requirements. Fetal tissue, according to the bill, is tissue, and this is the important part because it gives his game away. Tissue, cells, or organs obtained from an aborted unborn child. So this isn't really about the food we consume because homeboy knows we're not consuming fetal remains. Okay, the FDA has been very clear. There are no conditions under which the FDA would consider human fetal tissue to be safe or legal for human or animal consumption. Want to know why? Because that would be considered cannibalism, you idiot. But again, it's not really about the food, it's about scientific research having to do with stem cells. So I'm gonna get to those details in a minute, but Cenk, thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I have a controversial proposal in a minute as well. But first, the obvious. So yeah, of course it's not in the food. So why do they do this? Why do Republicans invent things that aren't real and then try to pass bills against them?
To scare their base.
Exactly. So for example, in Oklahoma, they passed a law against Sharia law because they thought the Muslims might take over Tulsa. Okay. I mean, look, the rest of us look at it and go bona fide lunatics, right? I mean, what Muslims? What the hell are you talking about? How in the world would Muslims institute Sharia law in the state of Oklahoma and make other people abide by Muslim law? But
besides which, we all know the Tulsa King is the one in control.
That's right, Sylvester Stallone's in charge of Tulsa. Everybody knows that, and he's not anywhere near Muslim. Okay, so in this case, he introduces the bill to introduce the idea into the Republican voters' heads because it doesn't have to be true. But once you have a bill, it sounds official. So then they all panic. Oh my God, there's dead babies in the food. Now you think there's no way anybody could believe that. Totally wrong. I guarantee you a giant percentage of Republicans will believe it the minute they hear it. The minute, they're like, oh my. But the good news is a lot of Republicans are gonna starve to death. You're wondering, oh my God, where's the babies in the food? Okay. It's not good news, I'm kidding. But Jesus, man, the two parties are not the same. The Democrats are horribly corrupt in all the ways that we describe here on the Young Turks, but they're not lunatics like this.
So let's talk about what this could actually impact negatively, other than the hearts and minds of Republican voters who will be terrified into thinking that there are fetal remains in their food. This is really about scientific research having to do with what's referred to as cell lines, stem cell research, for instance. So unlike food, medicine and science could be negatively impacted by this bill if it passes, since fetal cell lines can be used to develop and test drugs or vaccines that keep humans alive, okay? So cell lines can be collected from a single miscarriage or a single abortion, then replicated in labs over and over again for decades for scientific research. Fetal cell lines have led to the development of many major vaccines, such as COVID-19, which, by the way, that's not gonna do anything to convince Republicans against this legislation.
Are you kidding me? They're like, yes, I do it.
Yeah, but I mean, chickenpox, hepatitis A, rubella, rabies, polio, you guys get the point.
Yeah, so here's my controversial suggestion, okay? So guys, for the diseases that are viral and can spread to others, I really want them to take the vaccine so we don't get it from their ignorant asses, okay? But if there's a disease that is not viral and that you cannot spread to others, we should propose a law banning Republicans from taking those vaccines. And they're gonna say, wow, you can't do that. What do you mean? You support a party that says, oh, fetal cells are in there. Okay, well, either change your opinion and say, of course there's nothing wrong with fetal cells, or you're banned. And so you got smallpox? I have to confess, I'm bad with I don't know all the details of these diseases, so I don't know which ones can spread and not. Maybe all of them spread, I don't know. But whatever, and it's not a serious proposal in case you didn't figure it out.
Polio spreads, I mean, it's,
yeah. But for those that only affect them, I would ban them. I would say, you tell me what your real opinions are. If you say it's the Republican Party, okay, this fetal cell is immoral, horrible, okay, well then you're not allowed to take it and shut up about it, okay? For the rest of us, I don't give a damn what you think is immoral. How does it affect you? It doesn't affect you at all, at all. So I'll take it, and it's called freedom. They're the biggest hypocrites in the world. They're like, oh, we love freedom, but we don't want you to take stuff that is perfectly okay.
We don't want scientific research to develop vaccines that you might want to take to prevent yourself and your children from getting sick and potentially dying.
And by the way, why? Because they're pro-life. Okay, so you're gonna let all those people die because you're pro-life? I have no interest in the so-called morals of lunatics. No deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with fetal cells. Nothing. If that makes you cry, go cry into your skirt, and I don't care, okay? And by the way, put me in charge and I'll ban it. I'll ban you from getting it. And then later when you get a disease, you're like, can I please have science? I'm begging you, I want science. No, you wanna be a party of ignoramuses? Live with it, or maybe die with it.